2025 is coming to a close, and as we move into the end of the year, I've been reflecting on everything that's happened this year, the things that I've seen, the trends I've seen, the shifts I've seen, the things that I think are going to stay in 2025, and the things that I think are going to come with us into 2026 that we need to be aware of as Etsy sellers, as creative business owners, as product-based business owners, whether you sell digital products or physical products, and even generally as human beings, because these things are not just important to us as business owners, but they're going to shape the way that we actually interact as customers and consumers too. So without further ado, let's dive into my 6 big predictions for 2026. My first big prediction is there's going to be a rise in the demand and the desire for even more human connection and even more personal brands in 2026. So in an age where consumer trust is at an all-time low, there is going to be even bigger demand for brands who show the human side of their business. There has already started to be an anti-AI movement. There has already started to be a lot of people rejecting the use of AI, actively seeking out AI-based products that they're then warning people not to buy. So as AI continues to rise and continues to grow, we also know that the anti-AI trend will do the exact same thing. Now, this is important whether you agree with AI, whether you use AI or not. This trend is still going to be super important for you to know either way, because we need to understand how to meet our customers where they are. According to an article in Forbes, 62% of US citizens do not use any form of AI, and 39% of US citizens believe that AI should always have human oversight, regardless of what you're using it for. Now, if that doesn't tell you that there is a huge trust barrier with AI, then it should. But just to be clear, this isn't just about the use of AI. This is just all part and parcel of this really low consumer trust that we are seeing in 2025. We've been seeing it decline for a few years now. And this human connection is what's going to be really important to get us through this next season, this next phase of business growth, in order to make sure our customers understand who we are, understand who the person behind the business is, and understand who it is they're supporting behind the scenes. So for brands that have managed to grow consistently, hiding behind their products without necessarily showing their face, without necessarily showing the person behind the brand, I do see that this is going to continue to decline in 2026. And unfortunately, if that is you, then you are going to have to start showing a little bit more of you behind the scenes, or at the very least, a little bit more about the very foundations that your business is built on. Trust will be built by showing up consistently wherever you meet your customers, by providing consistent experiences that your customers expect to see, and by knowing and understanding your customer on a deeper level than ever before, so that you can meet them with their expectations and show them that you are the brand for them. This is simply a case of a human first approach, where we are remembering that there is a person on the other side of the screen looking at your products, choosing to buy your products, choosing to leave reviews for your products, choosing to engage with your brand. And so you need to remember that when you are creating your content, when you are showing up for your business, that person is also expecting a human first response. Following on from that is prediction number 2, and that is that more in real life connection is going to become even more important too. So prediction number 1 is all about that rising human-centered connection. Prediction number 2 is the real life experiences that go alongside with that. Now, absolutely a big part of that is going to be more in real life connections, so actually meeting with other human beings in real life. But another angle I see becoming really popular is also the more tangible in real life experiences. For example, snail mail, subscriptions, physical products in the mail. Even digital sellers and digital subscriptions are going to need to think about how they can create more tangible experiences with their customers. But the biggest part of this is going to be that tangible product that somebody has in their hands. Now, I could see this working really, really well for businesses like stationery businesses, sticker businesses, artists, illustrators. As the online world gets even louder, even faster, and even more AI generated, anything physical immediately stands out. Now, this is almost a spin-off of the human-centered first point that I made. This is all about building connection outside of a screen and in real life too. Now, an element of this will absolutely be in real life meetups. So think events, think creator meetups, think markets and physical stores, but it's also things like handwritten notes, thoughtful packaging, a beautifully designed postcard or thank you card in the parcel. But people are genuinely missing that real tangible feeling of receiving post in the mail, receiving a card from a friend, receiving a letter from a friend. Snail mail feels personal again because it's so rare to receive anything in the post that isn't just junk mail. So whilst yes, big in real life events will absolutely be a thing, it's also about micro moments like packaging that feels like a gift in itself, inserts that invite reflection or taking action, physical planners, prints, prompts, QR codes linking digital and physical experiences together. This kind of thing is going to work so well for so many industries. We've already seen it working amazingly in the art world, but I can also see this working so well for stationery sellers, for sticker subscriptions, for planner and journaling and self-development enthusiasts, for craft and creativity kits, pen pal services. I've even seen service-based businesses and service providers sending out physical newspapers, magazines, that kind of thing as well, that really help to build that connection with their customer. And as platforms like Etsy and social media channels get even more competitive and algorithm driven, retention and repeat buyers are going to matter even more than ever, and physical touch points are going to be one of the easiest ways to stay recognizable and memorable to your customers. It's not about any louder marketing. This is about creating meaningful micro moments for your customers. And this is something that I am really excited about seeing more growth for in 2026. Prediction number 3 is that there is going to be a huge rise in multi-passionate creators becoming business owners becoming multi-passionate creators, and generally there being a sense of community building between brand and customer on whatever platform you show up on. So as attention spans reduce even more and more, and we are starting to see tons of AI content flooding our feeds. Like I said in the first prediction, it's going to be even more important that you connect with that human behind the screen, that you want to become one of your customers in 2026. It's going to be important that you and your brand are known for something and stand for something, and your customers can recognize that instantly. And by that mark, it's going to be even more important than ever that you build a brand that stands for something that attracts your customers, but not only that, stands for something that actually repels certain customers too. Because we've all heard the saying before that if you try to speak to everyone, that you end up speaking to no one. That is not going anywhere. And in 2026, it is going to be even more of a focal point. Standing for something, standing against something, whatever it might be, being known by your customers as a brand that stands for something that they believe in, that provides an experience that they connect with, that is relatable, and somebody that this person wants to hang around with in their screen time and in their digital spaces, is going to be the only way to win in 2026. And one of the really cool things about this is that I actually see that business owners that start to build their personal brands and become known for something to their community will actually start to be able to benefit from creating multiple income streams outside of just their business and just their products. More big businesses than ever before are backing smaller creators, and as a brand, it is your opportunity to become more of a creator and start to show up like a creator, not just hiding behind your products anymore. The creator economy is set to become $1 trillion industry by 2030. So if that doesn't tell you that there's something in this, then I don't know what will. But smaller, tighter, better connected audiences are going to well outperform brands that just have huge reach with no real connection. Brands that deeply understand their customer will win, and they will do that obviously by more brand exposure, more product sales, but also by becoming a brand that that person can trust and that multiple income streams can then grow off the back of. My fourth prediction is that generational shifts are going to hugely impact the way that people are shopping and the way that people are spending with your brand. Gen Z consumers are starting to dominate the space, so where previously you've maybe been selling mainly to a millennial or Gen X or baby boomer generation, you're probably going to start to see a much younger generation start to come through in your customer base as Gen Z are getting older and starting to become a much bigger player in the disposable income game. We are already seeing this shift in so many industries. The wedding industry, the baby industry, the home decor industry. Gen Z are growing up, they're getting married, they're buying homes, some of them are having kids, and they're demanding a very different experience and a very different product from the brands they're buying from. So while this will impact some brands more than others, it's a consideration we all need to take into account because we are now selling to a generation we've never sold to before. I personally have felt this massively in my wedding business as the millennial couple has started to dwindle out and the Gen Z couple have started to come in and demand a very different service, a very different style, a very different experience from me than I've ever dealt with before. And sellers in these kind of industries are going to need to adapt because ultimately, eventually, their customer base is going to dry up and they won't be ready for the new customer base that are coming in. And even outside of the big life event spaces, there's even little things that big brands have started to see them shape the market differently as well. For example, the little treat culture, which I believe is going to be enormous in 2026 too. Now, somewhat depressingly, this theory actually comes off the back of consistent economic hardship. So for example, we see in times of recession, in times of financial difficulties, that whilst big purchases, big spending, big life decisions tend to slow down, we actually see that discretionary spending actually goes up because people are looking for ways and means to cheer themselves up and to feel better in a time where big purchases aren't a possibility anymore. So this little treat theory actually spans many generations because we actually see that people spend on these smaller impulse purchases that are like little luxuries that keep us smiling when things are difficult. This is something we'll see coming through in 2026 too. Prediction number 5 is that Etsy is unfortunately going to get harder. The marketplace is going to get more competitive. AI is starting to make it easier than ever for people to start a shop and start a business overnight. But also customers are going to be demanding more. Like we've already talked about, they're going to be looking for more trust signals, more reasons to buy from you, and more social proof that actually proves that what they are thinking about buying is a good purchase. We're also going to need to adapt to things like AI and algorithm changes because we already know that Etsy has told us that they are continuing to develop their algorithms through AI in 2026. So whilst it will absolutely still be possible to build brands on Etsy in 2026, it is going to be harder to stand out, and we're going to have to be clever in the way that we do all of the first points that I mentioned to make sure that we connect with customers in the right way, so they find us through the right search terms and they understand how and why they should buy from us and why they should trust us. So where Etsy could once be relied upon to bring in a full-time income with very little lift outside of the platform, I think in 2026 we're going to start to see sellers building outside the platform too, solidifying their brands, making sure that they are not putting their eggs in one basket, and helping to drive their own traffic via these smaller close-knit communities too, rather than just relying on the algorithm. We saw huge shifts this year in the way that the algorithm works. We saw big sellers lose traffic overnight with little to no explanation. And so in order to stay successful in 2026, it's going to be sensible for us to start building that brand and solidifying that brand outside of the platform too. Now, it is not all doom and gloom, because prediction number 6 is basically what we can do to counteract how much harder Etsy is going to get and how we can actually win in 2026. So prediction number 6 is that personalization is going to be king, even more so than ever, on Etsy and beyond. Now, by personalization, I don't just mean slapping a name on something and calling it a day. I mean real deep connection and curation and personalization for every individual customer. And here's the thing, Etsy is already going to be doing a lot of this hard work for us. Etsy has told us that they are moving their algorithms to show customers the thing that they think they're going to be most interested in. So your customers' feed should already be completely curated to what they're expecting to see. What you can do to make sure you're showing up with the right customers is exactly what I talked about in the first couple of predictions, where we are building brands that stand for something and stand out to certain customers. So that deeper connection with your customer and understanding what they want and need from you is going to inform the products that you create for them. And when you list those products on Etsy, you're going to be using simple SEO that gets you in front of the right customers based on what they are searching for right now. Their feed is already curated, so Etsy is going to be showing your products to the right people. Now, actual personalization is going to be a part of this too. We already know that Etsy has always been known for this personalization, handcrafted, artisan marketplace that offers something a little bit different than what you can get in your regular high street shops. So leaning into that element, either by offering personalization or by offering just a uniquely different product that your dream customer takes one look at and goes, oh yeah, that was made exactly for me, is 100% how you're going to win in 2026. Customization and personalization will go hand in hand alongside that differentiation that you're already building with your brand, so that your customers simply can't ignore you because they can see that your products and your brand was made for them. So they are my 6 predictions for 2026. I would love to hear what you think about them. Do you agree with them? Do you challenge any of them? And here is to you winning in 2026 and beyond.